TopStarTV presents Top 10 Books. The Great Gatsby by Scott Fitzgerald. The novel chronicles an era that Fitzgerald himself dubbed the Jazz Age. Following the shock and chaos of World War I, American society enjoyed unprecedented levels of prosperity during the roaring 1920s as the economy soared. At the same time, Prohibition, the ban on the sale and manufacture of alcohol as mandated by the 18th Amendment, made millionaires out of bootleggers and led to an increase in organized crime, for example the Jewish Mafia. Although Fitzgerald, like Nick Carraway in his novel, idolized the riches and glamour of the age, he was uncomfortable with the unrestrained materialism and the lack of morality that went with it, a kind of decadence. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. Revered by all of the town's children and dreaded by all of its mothers, Huckleberry Finn is indisputably the most appealing child hero in American literature. Unlike the tall-tale, idyllic world of Tom Sawyer, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is firmly grounded in early reality. From the abusive drunkard who serves as Huckleberry's father, to Huck's first tentative grappling with issues of personal liberty and the unknown, Huckleberry Finn endeavors to delve quite a bit deeper into the complexities, both joyful and tragic, of life. Hamlet by William Shakespeare. The tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, or more simply Hamlet, is a tragedy by William Shakespeare, believed to have been written between 1599 and 1601. The play, set in Denmark, recounts how Prince Hamlet exacts revenge on his uncle Claudius, who has murdered Hamlet's father, the king, and then taken the throne and married Gertrude, Hamlet's mother. The play vividly charts the course of real and feigned madness, from overwhelming grief to seething rage, and explores themes of treachery, revenge, incest, and moral corruption. The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri. Belonging in the immortal company of the great works of literature, Dante Alighieri's poetic masterpiece, The Divine Comedy, is a moving human drama, an unforgettable visionary journey through the infinite torment of hell, up the arduous slopes of purgatory, and onto the glorious realm of paradise, the sphere of universal harmony and eternal salvation. Moby Dick by Herman Melville. First published in 1851, Melville's masterpiece is, in Elizabeth Hardwick's words, the greatest novel in American literature. The saga of Captain Ahab and his monomaniacal pursuit of the white whale remains a peerless adventure story, but one full of mythic grandeur, poetic majesty, and symbolic power. Filtered through the consciousness of the novel's narrator, Ishmael, Moby Dick draws us into a universe full of fascinating characters and stories, from the noble cannibal Queequeg to the natural history of whales, while reaching existential depths that excite debate and contemplation to this day. War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. Epic in scale, War and Peace delineates in graphic detail events leading up to Napoleon's invasion of Russia, and the impact of the Napoleonic era on Tsarist society, as seen through the eyes of 5 Russian aristocratic families. The Odyssey by Homer. The Odyssey is one of 2 major ancient Greek epic poems attributed to Homer. It is, in part, a sequel to the Iliad, the other work traditionally ascribed to Homer. The poem is fundamental to the modern Western canon. Indeed, it is the second, the Iliad being the first, extant work of Western literature. It was probably composed near the end of the 8th century before Christos, somewhere in Ionia, the Greek-speaking coastal region of what is now Turkey. The poem mainly centers on the Greek hero Odysseus, or Ulysses, as he was known in Roman myths, and his long journey home following the fall of Troy. It takes Odysseus 10 years to reach Ithaca after the 10-year Trojan War. In his absence, it is assumed he has died, and his wife Penelope and son Telemachus must deal with a group of unruly suitors, the Nestors or Prosi, competing for Penelope's hand in marriage. Ulysses by James Joyce. Ulysses chronicles the passage of Leopold Bloom through Dublin during an ordinary day, June 16, 1904. The title parallels and alludes to Odysseus, Latinized into Ulysses, the hero of Homer's Odyssey. The correspondences between Leopold Bloom and Odysseus, Molly Bloom and Penelope, and Stephen Dedalus and Telemachus. Joyce fans worldwide now celebrate June 16 as Bloom's Day. In Search of Lost Time by Marcel Proust. Swann's Way, the first part of a La Recherche de Temps Perdu, Marcel Proust's 7-part cycle, was published in 1913. In it, Proust introduces the themes that run through the entire work. The narrator recalls his childhood, aided by the famous Madeleine, and describes M. Swann's passion for Odette. The work is incomparable. Edmund Wilson said, Proust has supplied for the first time in literature an equivalent in the full scale for the new theory of modern physics. Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. Alonso Quixote, a retired country gentleman in his 50s, lives in an unnamed section of La Mancha with his niece and a housekeeper. He has become obsessed with books of chivalry, and believes their every word to be true, despite the fact that many of the events in them are clearly impossible. Quixote eventually appears to other people to have lost his mind from little sleep and food and because of so much reading. Press like and click subscribe to watch more videos.